This week's Grandmaster is the Heist Battlegrounds, making just its second appearance in the GM playlist. This will be an updated guide from last season, focused on the most difficult parts of this Nightfall, with a few tweaks to our previous strategies that make the add-dense encounters easier than ever before. I'm above, and I am a bit sniffly as I'm a bit under the weather today, but if you enjoyed today's video, a like and subscription would be greatly appreciated. Now, let's get into it. Starting with my recommended team comp, we went with two Well of Radiance Warlocks with the Cenotaph Mask and an Invis Hunter rocking the Orpheus rigs. Having two Wells makes the Ghost Scan encounter significantly easier, especially when paired with an Orpheus rig tether, because you'll essentially have 100% uptime on your Wells. It offers so much control in those add-dense rooms, suppressing massive groups of enemies and locking down enemy spawn points to reduce the incoming pressure on your fire team. Cenotaph is also used to generate insane amounts of heavy ammo, which is fantastic for dealing with the high volume of champions in this GM. We always had excess heavy bricks on the ground, which means you'll be able to spam your rockets for quick ad clear. With that said, we didn't even end up using the ammo crates in this Grandmaster, so if you'd like to run something like Dawn Chorus with Polaris Lance or a Banner of War Titan with Worm Gods, definitely feel free to do so. As for weapon loadouts, we went with Galahorn and paired it with two solar rockets to take advantage of the weekly solar surge. We also used Wish Ender for intrinsic anti-barrier, with the final exotic slot being flexible based on your team's needs. I personally went with Sunshot for unstop, which is incredibly powerful due to the sheer number of solar boosting artifact mods that we have this season, with the solar surge making it even better. We paired these with two trace rifles for our Cenotaph users, a second unstop hand cannon, and a sniper rifle for some long-range chip damage against the final boss. Since we'll be radiant at almost all times due to our team comp and artifact mods like Flint Striker, we'll have intrinsic anti-barrier with our rockets, and you'll always have Wish Ender in the back pocket should you need it. The only other thing to note is that Shoot to Loot is incredibly powerful in this GM, as it allows you to pick up ammo from a safe distance and continue firing your rockets for ad clear. Key armor mods include heavy ammo finders and scouts for consistent heavy drops, two void resists, and a concussive dampener on the chest piece to avoid getting one shot by those nasty Scorn snipers, with two solar surges and a scavenger on the boots to match your heavy weapons. I get this question a lot, so I just want to clarify that surge mods on your boots do stack with the weekly GM surge for additional damage. It's the weekly surge and overcharge that do not stack. And for this season specifically, key artifact mods include Flint Striker to make you radiant when securing multi-kills with your rockets or landing precision hits with Sunshot, Blast Radius, which will allow rocket multi-kills to grant you armor charges, which not only activates your weapon surges, but also pairs perfectly with Argent Ordnance in the final column for even higher damage. And last but not least, make sure you take off Overload Rocket for this GM specifically, as it will prevent your rockets from breaking barrier shields while radiant. Diving right into the Nightfall, we're gonna make the opening portion of this GM incredibly easy for you. Simply stay on this high ground that overlooks the encounter, and you'll never have to deal with the Seraph Tower's lasers killing you, because you'll be out of its effective range. This area also provides solid cover from the adds below you, which means we can spam rockets and take care of this section in no time. As you can see, Galleon Apex Predator absolutely cooked this Nightfall thanks to the surge. There are 6 barrier champions, an unstoppable ogre, and a mini-boss that you'll need to kill in this opening area, but you'll be able to spam rockets like their primary weapons, then use your Shoot to Loot to pick up the ammo bricks from range. Once the initial wave has been cleared, a Death Tongue Chorister will spawn on your close left, and you'll want to prioritize this enemy as it disables your abilities if left alive too long. As you continue to clear adds, the spawns will move further away from you, which means we're safe to jump down and grab ammo if needed. The Unstop and mini-boss will spawn back near the Hive Cryptolith, and once dead, the Seraph Tower will deactivate, and you're free to top off on ammo before heading into the Warmind bunker. After some relatively basic transition areas, you'll arrive at the hardest part of this Grandmaster, known as the Ghost Scan encounter. We'll need to defend our Ghost as it slowly builds up to 100% capture progress while surviving what seems like an endless wave of enemies. I've found that the far side of the room behind these double boxes is by far the safest spot to clear adds from, as it breaks line of sight from most enemies, including the unstoppable champion spawns, while also giving you nice sight lines to clear adds from. Start by deploying your ghost, then group up with your team and start chaining your wells. The only real threat to you in this position are the adds that spawn out of the door to your right, but as long as you focus them as a team, they shouldn't be much of an issue. Tether also does a fantastic job suppressing this doorway, as well as grouping up large waves of adds in the center of the arena. Rockets go absolutely crazy for ad clear and can nuke down champions that spawn at the 25, 50, and 75% capture progress. Just remember to tag these enemies with your trace rifles before killing them, and you'll have more heavy ammo than you'll know what to do with. A mini boss will spawn just before the encounter is about to end, but rockets should take care of it no problem. So simply chain your supers together, use shoot to loot or invis to collect your heavy ammo when needed, spam your rockets for ad clear, and you'll be through this area in no time. As you make your way past the lasers, you'll arrive at the vault. Here we must collect 2 cores and use them to break the seals on the door to progress to the final boss fight. I recommend collecting these cores from the right hand side, as it has fewer adds to deal with than the left hand side does. And if used wisely, you can open the door with just 2 of them, which takes pressure off your third teammate, who is responsible for killing adds on the center platform to keep it safe for your core holders. Feel free to use heavy for this, as a heavy crate will spawn once you open the vault that will top you off on ammo. As we head to the final boss fight, this can either be incredibly easy if you follow the basic principles I've laid out for you, or incredibly difficult if you don't. Similar to Hash Ladoon from the Scarlet Keep Grandmaster, enemy spawns are tied to the amount of damage that we deal to the boss. Ad spawns will occur each time once Virus loses roughly 10% of its max HP, with an additional spawn at the start of the fight and another just after the 50% health gate. This means we'll have 10 waves total, and the faster we attempt to nuke the boss, the more ad spawns will overlap and can easily send less experienced fire teams back to orbit. Taking the slow and steady approach makes this fight incredibly easy, and as you get more comfortable with the encounter in successive clears, you can speed this up as much as you'd like. I like to use the back right corner of the room because A, the boss never pushes towards you, and B, this spot breaks line of sight from Scorn snipers, which are easily the most dangerous enemy in this encounter. Start by scanning your ghost, then begin making your way to the back right hand corner and throw down a well to clear the initial wave of adds. I like to use Tether to group up the enemies next to the boss and use a rocket to take them out quickly. Scorn snipers will be the biggest threat to you, so the faster we can take them out, the better. You can then chip away at the boss until you hear the next wave of adds begin to spawn, and then rinse and repeat the add clear chip damage process until the boss reaches its 50% health gate. It is at this point that the 2 unstoppable champions will spawn on the center platform, but they don't really aggro you if you use this spot in the back right hand corner. This means we can tag them with trace rifles to restock on ammo and prepare for the final boss bake. Now we can shift our focus to the arc charge Scorn, who will drop charges that we need to deposit on the center platform. We must do this 5 times with ad spawns tied to each dunk. So a nice little trick that you can use is dunking 2 of the orbs at the same time and skip 2 of the ad spawns entirely. Once all 5 orbs have been dunked, the boss will become damageable once more. Start by using a well in the back right hand corner once again to clear adds, then move to the center platform and prepare for the final boss bake. This is obviously dependent on ammo, but if you have rockets available, simply throw down your second well, drop a tether, and spam rockets to make the Heist Moon Battlegrounds a GG. If you found this guide useful, a like and subscription would be greatly appreciated, and you can also catch me live over at twitch.tv/above, where I'll be doing GM helps all season long. Anyways guys, that's it from me. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.